Am I audible? Hello. Good morning, students.
Good morning, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Very good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us start the class. So today we are going to start the tangential biasing. Okay. So for tangential biasing, what do we know? We have to know that what do you mean by tangential biasing? So let us start the class. So what is my question is that what is transistor biasing? This is the question. So what will be the answer? The answer will be transistor biasing is the process of setting a transistor's DC operating voltage or current conditions to the correct level so that AC input signal can be amplified correctly by the transistor. So what we are doing? Transistor biasing is process of setting the transistor's DC operating voltage. What? DC operating voltage. So this is the first thing. DC operating voltage or current conditions to the correct level so that any AC input signal can be amplified correctly by the transistors. Now what is this is DC operating voltage? DC voltage stands for actually the direct current voltage, which uh, DC concept refers more but broadly to the quantities that don't regularly change polarity. That is called DC, direct current, or that have zero or effectively zero frequency. Okay. Voltage is the electric potential difference per unit charge between 2 points that we know that in an electric field. So electric energy is generated from the movement of the existence and charged particles known as electrons. The movement of electrons creates a difference in potential energy between 2 points, and this is called potential difference voltage. So there may be two types of electrical energy. One is AC and DC. As mentioned, the voltage across from the DC source is known as DC voltage. So an ideal DC voltage source has zero internal resistance, but an hello, hello. So an ideal DC voltage source has zero internal resistance, but an actual DC source will always have some amount of internal resistance. In an ideal voltage source, the voltage drop across the source is zero. But in the case of practical real world voltage source, some amount of voltage drop occurs. This voltage drop increases as the current increases. Okay. So that is the basic of a DC operating voltage or DC voltage. So what is operating voltage? Operating voltage means the DC voltage on which the transistor is operated. So DC operating voltage is nothing but a voltage from DC source on which the transistor operates. Sir, madam, বন্ধ করুন। Transistor operates. So that is called the DC operating voltage. So clear everybody, what do you mean by DC operating voltage? Everybody cleared?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So transistors are one of the mostly used semiconductor devices which are used for a wide variety of applications, including amplification, switching. Just a minute. Okay, so what we are talking transistors are one of the most widely used semiconductor devices which are used for widely variety of applications including amplification and switching. So using transistor we can do two types of purpose. One is called amplification and one is called switching. So I have given you examples of previously that when on which region the transistor works as a switch, as a amplifier. So I have told that in CBCC and C configuration, I have detailedly discussed about that. So you know that. So including amplification and switching. Okay. To achieve this function satisfactorily, that means the amplification that we are achieving has to be correct. So the amplification and the switching functions, if we want a satisfied result from that, a transistor may be supplied with a certain amount of current and voltage. The process of setting this condition for transistor circuit is referred as a transistor biasing. Okay, so we are setting that minimum this DC voltage or AC voltage or AC signal must be applied to the transistor to get the satisfactory switching application or amplification application. So that's why we need transistor biasing. Transistor biasing can be accomplished by various techniques that give rise to different types of biasing circuits. However, all these circuits are based on the principle providing the right amount of base current, that is IB, right amount of base current IB, and in turn the collector current IC from the substrate voltage. So we have to provide IB right amount to get the collector current IC. From the supply voltage VCC. From the supply voltage VCC. Condition is that there will be no signal present in the input. Present at an input. This is the condition. So on this condition, if we want to get the right amount of collector current by supplying the by providing the right amount of base current from the supply voltage VCC, then we have to do the biasing, or the biasing is actually doing like these things, or the actual thing, or actual what I tell, actual means एक्चुअली जो बायसिंग का कंडीशन है, बायसिंग क्या करता है, बायसिंग करता है कि जो राइट अमाउंट ऑफ, हम लोग राइट अमाउंट ऑफ बेस करंट प्रोवाइड करेंगे, उसके हिसाब से हमको राइट अमाउंट ऑफ कलेक्टर करंट निकालना है फ्रॉम द सप्लाई वोल्टेज वीसीसी, और कंडीशन क्या रहेगा कि कोई अदर सिग्नल वो इनपुट में प्रेजेंट नहीं होगा, ठीक है। सो द collector register, the collector register can be defined as what? RC. So if the collector register RC, this is the collector register. So collector register RC has been chosen so that the collector emitter voltage, so what we do, we choose RC such a way, so choose in such a way that the collector emitter voltage, that means VCE, the collector emitter voltage remains greater than 0.5 volt for transistor made of germanium, for transistor made of germanium, and greater than 1 volt for transistor made of silicon. Okay, so the collector register RC is chosen so that the collector emitter voltage, that is VCE, remains greater than 0.5 volt for transistor made of germanium and greater than 1 volt for transistor made of silicon. So that is also taken in consideration. That is also taken in consideration. Okay. So we use some different techniques of biasing so that this condition successful. So that's why we are going to tell this. Okay, clear everybody? Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So up to this clear everybody?
Clear,
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Let us start with different types of transistor biasing. Now we will go to this way. We will tell about types of transistor biasing. क्या क्या है types? The first name is called fixed bias. Fixed base bias. This is also known as fixed resistance bias. Number two is collector feedback bias. Number three is dual feedback bias. Number four is fixed bias with emitter resistor. Next is emitter bias. Next is emitter feedback bias. Next is voltage divider bias. So these are the types of biasing of a transistor. Fixed base bias or fixed resistance bias, collector feedback bias, dual feedback bias, fixed bias with emitter resistor, emitter bias, emitter feedback bias, and voltage divider bias. So these are all the types of transistor bias. Okay. So we are starting with transistor biasing. We have discussed about the different types of transistor biasing. Now we elaborately discuss about different type of biasing techniques in details, and we will do some numericals also. So any confusion about this up to this what we have taught today? आप लोग सुन रहे हो या नहीं सुन रहे हो, क्योंकि कोई आप लोगों से कोई मुझे रेस्पॉन्स नहीं मिल रहा है. आप लोग सुन रहे हो, कोई भी अभी तक रिप्लाई नहीं दे रहे.
यस सर, सुन रहे हैं
यस
सर।
हेलो.
यस सर यस सर
अच्छा,
यस सर
कभी भी आप लोगों को अगर कुछ कभी भी आप लोगों को कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो तो बता सकते हो, ठीक है. सो अब हम लोग बात करेंगे ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट कैसे सिलेक्शन किया जाता है. सिलेक्शन ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट, व्हाई वी need the operating point, what is the importance of selecting the operating point and all that. Okay, so we will start with selection of operating point. So for faithful amplification of an input signal, a proper or judicious selection of operating point is one of the uttermost importance. So for faithful amplification, I am telling you, for the precise and for getting the specified or correct or error-free amplification and switching application for a transistor circuit, we know this biasing and all the things. So here for faithful application of the input signal, we have to select a operating point which is very much important. So let us take a common emitter circuit and corresponding, you have seen that the output characteristics of that common emitter configuration, and then we will start study the effects of biasing condition on the performance of this transistor. So we have to necessity there is to draw a DC load line on the output characteristics of the transistor, and why this load line is taken, and what is the importance and what is the characteristics difference of that, we will study this here. So first let us take the common emitter configuration. So I am again drawing to you the circuit of the common emitter configuration. So I tell everybody this configuration circuits, you must be just monotonous with this. That means you have to be very much in your head about these circuits, about the construction of the circuits, because every time you will give answer of this transistor portion, you have to draw these circuits to define anything. Any question from a transistor biasing or transistor operation or any other thing, you have to always draw the biasing circuit or configuration circuit. So you must be just memorized with this. So anytime if you have to draw, you can draw it. So I am again drawing to you the common emitter configuration. This is the resistance. So the base current flows this direction. I name it IB. This is the supply voltage. I name it VBB. I am going to vary it. So I have connected a potentiometer here. This emitter portion is grounded, that is common emitter, that's why. So this is the current going this way. This resistance is named RB. This is the RC. This is the output that is denoted by VCC. VCC, this is plus, this is minus, and this is the IC current flowing this way. একটু আস্তে. So this is the common emitter configuration that we know, and then we will draw the output characteristics of this signal. So this is somehow the output characteristics. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is VCE in volt. This is IC in milliampere. Now I am drawing the quotient point, okay, or the Q point or the load line. Just a minute. So like this is the load line. I named it Q1. Let us give the color to every point so that I can deliberate the cases. This is our Q1 point. this point. Next point is Q. This is our Q. And the last but not the least, this is the Q2. Okay. So these cases, these points, if you want to study the effects of biasing condition on the performance of the transistor, it is necessary to draw a DC load line on the output characteristics of the transistor. So this is the DC load line. We have drawn the DC load line on this output of the characteristics. So in this figure, you see that a DC load line is drawn on the characteristics. The operating point will essentially lie somewhere on this load line. So in this figure, you can see there are three operating points. These three operating points can be set depending upon the values of the base current. We will consider the three cases to find which one of these three operating points is more suitable, so that you can see or you can assume that like this you have to select the operating point for any type of configuration. Okay. So let us study the cases. First case is our the red one, that is the Q1. So first case is for the Q1. So case 1, that is Q1. So if Q1 is the operating point, what will happen? Then Q1 will lie near to the saturation region. You know, this is the saturation, this is the active, and this is the cutoff region. We have seen it earlier. So if I point it out, so this is our saturation. From this to this, it is active. So this all region is active. Sorry. We can tell this region is active. And this is our what? Cutoff. So we have known these things. But if I take the first case, that is Q1. So Q1 will be, this operating point will be lying near the saturation region. You can see this is lying nearing the saturation region. Therefore, the positive cycle of the signal will be kept up. Hence, the distortion will occur. Thus, the point Q1 is not suitable for the operating point. So, why it is not suitable? Because Q1 will lie near the saturation region. First of all, that's thing. So what will happen? Therefore, the positive cycle of the signal will be kept up. That's there will be a distortion, and that's why hence there will be a distortion. and hence we will not take this point. So that is for the case 1. So this case 1 is not been used. Now the next is our case 2. Now the next is our case 2. That is Q point. That is Q. So before going to case 2, let us go to case Q2. That is the last one. Case 3. That is Q2. So if we consider the Q2 as the operating point, then the point will lie near the cutoff region, first of all. Therefore, the negative cycle will be kept out. The first positive cycle is clipped out because it is lying nearer to the saturation. So now it is locating near to the cutoff. So the negative cycle will be clipped off. Hence, there will be no distortion at all. So what will happen? The distortion will occur in the first happen. And this here, there will be no there will be again distortion because the negative cycle is clipped off. So again distortion will happen. So the point Q2 is not also suitable for operating point. So what is the problem of Q2? Will lie near the cutoff region. Therefore, what will happen? The negative cycle of the signal will be clipped off. Hence, there will be distortion. Okay. So we have to avoid this. Now, the last case, that is case number 2, that is Q. So if Q is chosen as the operating point, then what will happen? This will lie in the active region. Also, the point is in the middle of the active region. So therefore, the signal will not be clipped off. Hence, there will be no distortion. So if there is no distortion, therefore the Q point is suitable. So we will take that point as the operating point. So will lie in the active region. Then it is also the middle, it is also in the middle of the active region. So middle of the active region. So therefore, no signal will be clipped off. Stop. Hence, there will be no distortion at all. Hence, there will be no distortion at all. So it is the suitable operating point. Therefore, point Q is suitable operating point. So point Q is the suitable operating point. We'll take this as a suitable operating point. Then we can conclude that for faithful application, the operating point must lie in the middle of the active region. So this is also cancelled. This is also cancelled. This one is also cancelled. And this one is in the correct. So what will be the thing that will come out? We will write that thing that for faithful amplification, the operating point must lie in the middle of active region. So this is very, very important. Okay. For faithful application, the operating point must lie in the middle of active region. So this is the discovery from this selection of operating point. Anybody, any questions?
क्लिप्ड ऑफ का मतलब क्या होता है सर?
हाँ, और एक
सर
बार बताओ,
क्लिप्ड
सुनाई नहीं दिया, फिर बोला।
सर क्लिप्ड ऑफ का मतलब क्या होता है?
क्लिप टॉप मतलब आपका जो सिग्नल आ रहा है ना, वो सिग्नल में जब आप सिग्नल को देखेंगे, जैसे कि ये मेरा एक सिग्नल है, लेट अस अज्यूम दिस इज अवर सिग्नल। सो जब सैचुरेशन की तरफ होता है तब पॉजिटिव साइकिल, मतलब ये जो पोर्शन है, ये पोर्शन पॉजिटिव साइकिल्स ये नहीं रहेगा। डायोड में जैसा होता है तो ये सब नहीं रहेगा, सिर्फ नेगेटिव साइकिल्स रहेगा। और जब इस कंडीशन होता है, मतलब ये Q2 कंडीशंस होता है, तब हमारा क्या होगा, तब हमारा नेगेटिव साइकिल्स रहेगा ऐसा का, जो नेगेटिव साइकिल्स नहीं रहेगा, सिर्फ पॉजिटिव साइकिल्स रहेगा। So this is clip top. That means there will be not present these cycles. Only this portion will be there for amplification. That means when I give the input signal can be an AC signal, it can be a sinusoidal signal. So if the sinusoidal or the AC signal is given for the Q1 point, that means if I take this point that is closer to the saturation, the positive cycles, that means these will be the clip top. And if I take for the next part, that is for the Q2 point, like if I take for the Q2 point, that means this portion, that is this portion. So this is closer to our cutoff region. So if it is closer to the cutoff region, this is for the Q2. Okay. So closer to the cutoff region, the negative cycles will be clipped up. So this is for the Q2 and this is for the Q1. ओके, अंडरस्टैंड? क्लिप टॉप का मतलब? अच्छा, और किसी को किसी प्रॉब्लम है? कहीं पर भी कंफ्यूजन है? मैं फिर से बोल रहा हूं क्योंकि मैं दूसरा पार्ट पर चले जाऊंगा, फिर कंफ्यूजन रहेगा तो ये नहीं होगा, क्योंकि ये तुम लोगों का क्लास हो रहा है। कंफ्यूजन जो है, जो अपना समस्या है वो ठीक करने के लिए, क्योंकि ये बहुत ही बेसिक सब्जेक्ट है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स डिपार्टमेंट का और दूसरा डिपार्टमेंट का। तो बेसिक में अगर गलती रह गया तो बाद में भी गलती रह जाएगा, इसीलिए मैं इतना देर से आप लोगों को इतना अच्छी तरह समझ रहा हूँ। सो इफ यू हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम प्लीज टेल मी। Okay, so no problem, I think, because nobody has answered. So I will go for the next part. Next is called the bias stabilization. What do we mean by stabilization of a biasing circuit? So we will go for the bias stabilization circuit. So we know, 1 minute, just let me drink some water. Sorry. We know that for proper operating of transistor, the operating point should be properly fixed. However, only fixing the operating point is not sufficient. The operating point must remain stable throughout the operation where it is fixed originally. So हम लोग क्या करते हैं, हम लोग करते हैं कि अपना जो ट्रांजिस्टर के ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट है, तो हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, हम लोग बोलते हैं कि ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट तो हम लोग निकाल ले, कैसे आप लोगों को ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट निकालना है या डीसी लोड लाइन से आपको कैसे ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट निकालना है, मतलब सिलेक्ट करना। तो ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट सिलेक्ट करने से अगर एक सिलेक्शन कर दिया और फिर चले गए तो नहीं होगा। हमको जितना टाइम तक ऑपरेशन चलेगा उतना टाइम तक वही ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट फिक्स रहना चाहिए। अगर उसमें बढ़ा चढ़ा हो या चेंज हो तो हमारा एम्प्लीफिकेशन सही से नहीं होगा, प्योर एम्प्लीफिकेशन नहीं होगा। तो उसके लिए हम लोगों को ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट का जो स्थान है वो फिक्स करना पड़ेगा। सो फिक्स करने के बाद हम लोगों को ऐसा देखना पड़ेगा कि ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट जो है वो रिमेन स्टेबल हो सकता है, क्योंकि कभी वोल्टेज या करंट की चेंज होने से कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स का भी चेंज हो सकता है। तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट उठ भी सकता है, नीचे रह भी सकता है, पर उसको हमको स्टेबिलाईजेशन करना पड़ेगा। जब हम लोग ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट को स्टेबिलाईज कर सकते हैं पूरा ऑपरेशन की टाइम, तब जहां पर हमने फिक्स किया था, पहले जहां पर हमने फिक्स किया था वहीं पर भी पूरा ऑपरेशन के दौरान उसको हमको स्टेबिलाईज करना पड़ेगा। सो ये जो है उसको हम लोग करते हैं। ये जो ऑपरेशन है जहां पर हम लोग जो निर्धारित जगह पे ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट है वहां पर उसको स्टेबिलाईज करने की जो प्रोसीडियर है, जो पूरा ऑपरेशन के टाइम पे वहीं पर भी स्टेबिलाईज रहेगा, ये टोटल प्रोसीडियर को हम लोग बोलते हैं बायस स्टेबिलाईजेशन। अगर शिफ्ट ऑपरेशन होगा तो हम लोग क्या करेंगे, अगर शिफ्टिंग होगा ये फिक्स्ड ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट का, तो हम लोग ट्रांजिस्टर को वहां पर भी जा सकते हैं, लेकर जा सकते हैं जहां पर हम लोग अनवांटेड है। मतलब हम तो एक्टिव रीजन पे ही अपना सब कुछ ध्यान दे रहा है एप्लीकेशन के बारे में, पर ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि अगर वो स्टेबल ना हो, अगर ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट फिक्स्ड होने के बाद भी स्टेबल ना हो, तो वो इधर उधर जा सकता है। तो ये जो बायसिंग स्टेबिलाईजेशन होता है ना, तो बायसिंग स्टेबिलाईजेशन मतलब स्टेबिलाईजेशन लगता है वो तो हम लोग मान लिया, पर क्यों लगता है, क्यों ये शिफ्ट कर जाता है, मतलब एक जगह से फिक्स्ड ऑपरेटिंग पॉइंट मैंने लिया, ऑपरेशन के वक्त पे वो क्यों फिक्स्ड मतलब हट जाता है, अनवांटेड जगह पे चले जाते हैं जिसके लिए मुझे स्टेबिलाईजेशन चलता है। तो वो जो कारण है, जो रेस्पॉन्सिबल थिंग्स है, रेस्पॉन्सिबल पॉइंट है या रेस्पॉन्सिबल पैरामीटर्स है which are responsible for the shifting of operating points, we will discuss about them. So number one is called the temperature dependence of transistor parameters. Number one point is the temperature So what is the temperature dependence? So we know the collector current is given as IC equals to beta into IB beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into ICBO, where beta is the common emitter current gain IB is the base current and ICBO is the leakage current. Okay. So in these three variables are strongly temperature dependent. Hence, with the increase in temperature, if any of these parameter changes, then the collector current changes, and so the operating point is shifted to another region. So what we will write, these are strongly temperature dependent. So hence, with the increase in temperature, what will happen? If any of the parameter changes, then the collector current changes. And so the operating point is shifted to any other region. And so the operating point is shifted to another region. Okay. Next is variation in parameters between transistor of same type. So in this case, even upon the tremendous advance in semiconductor technology, the transistor parameters such as beta vary widely between the transistors even of same time. So change in beta will shift the operating point in any undesired result. Understand? So what will happen? Beta vary widely between transistor even of same time. Between transistor transistors even of same type. So change in beta will shift the operating point in an undesired direction. In any undesired direction. Or we can tell undesired region. So that is the second case. Another case is there. That is number 3 case. हेलो, सुनाई दे रहा है अभी? हेलो,
सर आवाज आ रही है सर आपकी?
अच्छा, नहीं बीच में करंट चल गया था इसीलिए थोड़ा नेट कनेक्शन हो गया था, पावर कट हो गया था, इसीलिए थोड़ा नेट कनेक्शन का प्रॉब्लम हुआ था। ठीक है, तो हमने दो अपना वेरिएशन इन पैरामीटर्स भी बता दिए। अब दूसरा चीज है, फिर से हमको शुरू करना पड़ेगा। सो बायस स्टेबिलाईजेशन के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, और वहां पर हम लोगों का थर्ड पॉइंट जो था वो है अपना थर्मल रनवे वाला थर्ड पॉइंट है। तो उसके बारे में हम लोग कुछ बता करते हैं। सो दैट इज नंबर 3, दैट इज अवर थर्मल रनवे। So what happens? The collector current is given by IC equals to beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into ICBO. So what is ICBO? Is the leakage current in the common base for common in the common base junction. There is a leakage current. So if the temperature changes, then the leakage current ICBO changes. In turn, changes IC and operating point. Flow of collector current in the collector circuit produce heat at the collector junction. So when the current will flow, what will happen? The collector circuit produces heat at the collector junction. So when the heat is produced, it raises the temperature of the collector junction. It raises the temperature. Hence, the leakage current increases with turn increases collector current IC. So when the leakage current increases, it will in turn increase the collector current because IC is dependent on that ICBO. This again increases the temperature of the collector junction and the whole process repeats again. Such a successive increase of IC will drive the operating point into saturation region. This process is also called thermal runaway. This is very dangerous process due to excessive heat in the transistor, and the transistor may burn out for this. So understand what is happening. When the current is flowing, that is when IC is collector current is receiving. So the flow of collector current into the collector circuit produce the heat in the collector junction. So I will write the flow of collector current in the collector circuit produces heat at the collector junction. Produces heat at the collector junction. Okay, so this raises the temperature. So this raises the temperature. So if this raises the temperature, hence ICBO increases, ICBO increases, which in turn increases the collector current. Okay. So this increases the collector current. Any problem with this? So this process run successively increases in repeat again and again. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this process repeat again and again. So if this process repeat again and again, so it successively increases IC, which will drive the operating point into saturation region. So this process is called thermal runaway. This process is called thermal runaway. So this process is very dangerous due to excessive heat can make the transistor burn out. So it is also dangerous for that. So I think everybody has understand. And this is also sometimes short notes is coming. What do you mean by thermal runaway? You have to write this thing. Okay. So that is up to bias stabilization. That is up to bias stabilization. So our next part is called the stability factor. So next portion of us will be stability factor. So anybody, any idea about stability factor? Yes? Anyone? What do you mean by stability
सर
factor?
इसमें सर शायद सर आईसी का सर करंट को कलेक्ट करता है ऐसा कुछ सर, तो उतना अच्छा से याद नहीं है बट पढ़े थे सर एक बार.
Okay, okay. So let us describe this thing at stability factor. This is the next topic that we are going to discuss today. We have just 20 minutes class left because it is already 11:50, 40. So the stability factor is expressed as the rate of change of collector current with respect to the reverse saturation current while keeping the common emitter current gain B and base current IB as constant. So what is the definition? The stability factor is what is expressed as the rate of change of collector current with respect to the reverse saturation current while keeping the common emitter CE current gain beta and base current IB as constant. So mathematically what is represents? So mathematically what is represents? So mathematically it represents that, if I tell mathematically, S equals to D of, that is rate of change in the collector current by rate of change in the what? Reverse saturation current, that is ICO. When we keep what? Beta and IB equals to constant. The stability factor S is measure of bias stability of a transistor circuit. So what does the stability factor do? Is stability factor measure the bias stability of a transistor circuit. So it measures the bias stability of a transistor circuit. So it may be observed that the higher value of the stability factor, poor the stability, whereas lower the value of the stability factor, good the stability. So what I told, higher value of S, what will happen? 4 is stability. And lower value of S, good is the stability. Okay. So mathematical expression for stability factor is IC equals to, sorry, IC equals to beta into IB plus 1 plus beta into ICO. That is the leakage current, where IC equals to collector current, IB is the base current, and ICO is the reverse saturation current. Saturation current. And beta is the common emitter current gain. Beta is the common emitter current gain. Okay. So if I differentiate the equation, differentiate equation 1 with respect to IC, to differentiate equation 1 with respect to IC, what I will get? One equals to D of DIC to beta into IB plus D of DIC into 1 plus beta into ICO. So if I assume beta and constant, what I will get? 1 equals to beta into DIB by DIC plus 1 plus beta into DICO by DIC. That is equals to beta into DIB by DIC plus 1 plus beta into 1 by S. As because what? S equals to DIC by DICO. So we can write or S equals to S dot B S dot beta into D of IB by IC, D of IB by D of IC plus 1 plus beta. So I can write or S into 1 minus beta D of IB by D of IC equals to 1 plus beta. So that will give us or S equals to 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta into DIB by DIC. So this is equation number 2. So okay, clear everybody? आप लोग क्लियर है? क्योंकि मेरे पास सिर्फ और 8 मिनट बाकी है, इसीलिए सबको बोल रहा हूं. हेलो हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी?
सर
अच्छा. So this above expression for stability factor is a general expression for any biasing circuit. So like this, you will find out the stability factor for common base. Then we will find out stability factor of common emitter. So like this, you can find out. You will see that stability factor for common base S equals to 1. And stability factor for common emitter will be S is equal to 1 plus BT. 1 plus beta, sorry, BT I am telling. So for what I am told for common stability factor for common base, today is 23rd to. So you will find out we are talking about stability factor. So you will see you have to derive, because sometimes it is coming in the examination to derive the stability factor. So at the time you have to derive. So practice it. So you will get stability factor S equals to 1 for common base CB configuration config, and you will get S is equal to 1 plus beta for what? C config. So these two configuration you will, from the generalized equation you have to calculate. So what is the generalized equation? S equals to 1 plus beta by 1 minus beta into d of IB by d of IC. So this is the generalized equation. So up to this, I think everybody has been cleared. We have discussed about the all the things that we are going to discuss. This is the stability factor. Next, there will be a question why we use this biasing circuit. So why we use this biasing circuit? Number one is a biasing circuit must set the operating point in the middle of active region of the transistor characteristics. So next is a biasing circuit must be stabilized the collector current against the temperature variations. And number of three is the biasing circuit must ensure the operating point is independent of the transistor parameters such as beta so that the operating point is not shifted if the transistor is replaced by another transistor of the same type. So these are the requirement of biasing circuits. So whenever we will design a biasing circuit, we have to take this thing in our mind that these are the requirements of a biasing circuit. So for CU configuration, bias stimulation is utmost importance to improve the stability factor. C configuration, the collector current highly depends on leakage current, which in turn depends on the temperature. So in C configuration, bias stimulation is uttermost difference. In CB, there is no need of biasing, but we need also bias stability factor, stabilization of the biasing point, because it is S equals to 1, so unity is there, so there is not much problem for that. But in CE mode, we have to improve the stability factor. So there is a important point in our CE configurations. So any questions for today? Next day we will discuss about the fixed bias, cell bias, collector bias, and emitter bias circuits. Anybody, any questions? Do you understand? Was today's lecture was understandable? किसी को कुछ पूछना है? हाँ सागर, कुछ बोलना चाहते हो?
No, sir.
Okay, so I think everybody has understand the today's class, and hope you enjoyed today's class. The notes and the class works will be provided in the teachment. So everybody please go to the teachment for the video lecture. Those who have not attended, please see the video lecture. If you have any doubt, you can call me anytime, or you can ask question in the teachment also. So again, I am asking if anybody has confusion, please tell, or if there is no confusion, you can leave because your second class has been already started. So you can leave this session and go to the next class. Okay, so nobody has answered. So I don't think there is much more today. Thank you. I am ending the class.